Welcome back everybody, my name is Mayhem and this is Weapons Critique. So today we're going to talk about the new guns, or the new variants I should say, that DICE are about to implement into the new game, into the vanilla game and into the obviously the DLC and all that fun stuff. So for those of you that don't have the DLC, don't worry, DICE have heard your pleas and cries for lack of content and all that stuff. And they're going to implement some new guns into the game for you guys as well, albeit they are variants of stuff that's already exists within the game and you've potentially already got it unlocked. So without further ado, let's dive straight into it. So the first gun is in the medic class and it's the Selbstlader 1906. Now this gun will still hold, I want to say it's 300 rounds, it still has 5 in the chamber. You know, you're going to go through that long ass reload animation and all that fun stuff. But what DICE have done is they put a scope on it and they put a bipod on it. So is that good or is that bad? From my personal perspective, I think it's the stupidest thing they could have ever done in the whole wide world. Here is a gun that is not used at all. I mean, I think I've died from this gun maybe 3 times in the entire time I've played Battlefield, and I've been playing Battlefield right from day one. So I very rarely get killed by this gun, and I've used it myself, and it is a good gun. I mean, it's very, very accurate, but what it lacks is ammunition. What it doesn't need is a scope or a bipod. It needs more bullets. So have DICE heard you? Yeah, they have, but they haven't really implemented what you want to see. They've implemented it and they put a scope and a bipod on it. So what does that mean for the gun? Well, in my personal opinion, what it means is that all the turkeys that like to sit in the back of the map and just pick people off, go 7-0 and think they've had a fantastic game, they're going to pick this thing up, think it's absolutely mustard, and just be picking people off on the flag left, right and centre, because now, what do they have? Well, now they've got a semi-automatic sniper rifle. Well, fantastic. You've got a semi-automatic sniper rifle that fires 5 rounds, 3 of which you only need to kill, giving you 2 spare and the time to reload it because you're at such big distance, and it's stupidly accurate. I mean, that's, for me, that's absolutely stupid. So scores out of 10, I'm going to give it a thumbs down. I'm going to give it a -5 because I think it's shite and I think that's a really, really stupid idea. What this gun needs is more bullets, not extra attachments. I mean, this is not Battlefield 4. We don't need all the attachments. We don't need all the fun jazz. We just need more bullets in the gun. So there's my review on the Selbstlader 1906. Could be a lot more in depth, I guess, but I haven't played with the gun. They're not released. I say that they're in the CTE, but I play on a console and therefore I don't have access to this right now. So yet to be seen. Hopefully I'm wrong, but I can just see people sitting in the back of the map and picking people off. So there we are. We get that one out of the way, and now we're going to move swiftly into the support class and the HUOT. Now this is the optical version, they call it. So what's changed with this gun, you ask? Well, not a fantastic amount, to be fair. It still fires at 475 rounds a minute. It's still got a 26 round magazine, or whatever you want to call that. It's the HUOT. Now, its aim accuracy is obviously, it's always been its biggest, strongest point, and especially since it was buffed. So anybody that's played with this gun will know if you stand still with the HUOT, it's an absolute laser beam. So what they did with this, well, they've slapped an optical sight on it of sorts, you know what I mean. It's the little pop-up thing with a red dot in the middle of it, or you can change it for crosshairs or whatever. And they put a foregrip on it, which is actually increasing its accuracy. So for me, you have now a kind of middle of the road LMG. Its fire rate is it's okay. Personally, I think it's outbeat by the Lewis gun, but it has a foregrip on it, and so its accuracy is increased. So are we going to see more people playing with this gun? More than likely. I certainly am going to give it, I'll give it a fair go, but I think its real big failing is its fire rate lets it down a little bit. This could be an absolute mustard gun. I actually like the iron sights on this gun, which I know everybody's going to jump on that and go, well, they're absolute shit. But me personally, they work for me quite well, and I like it. And I haven't minded the gun from day one, but I just don't see this variant being fabulously popular and fabulously great. And it's certainly not going to be any, you know, big weapon deal that everybody jumps on and everybody's using it. So there's the HUOT, that's the optical version, and that's what they're bringing. Next in the line, it comes in the Scout class, which of course everybody knows is what I like. And they are going to twist up the Martini. Now, people out there are going to be starting to get themselves all excited, but pace yourselves, people. Before you go creaming your pants, all they've done to the Martini is put a scope on it. And that's right, there should be a very long pause here, but for the purpose of audio, it sounds really bad and it makes my videos longer. So there will be no pause, but there should be a very long pause and tumbleweeds blowing by. They've put a scope on it and a bipod. Who cares? This has one of the shortest, what is that? The hit detection areas in any of the sniper rifles on the game. The sweet spot is what I'm looking for. That was the word. So you can look at that in the comment section below and everybody will be like, you mean the sweet spot, you moron. But yeah, that's what I meant, and now I'm saying it. She shut up. So the sweet spot is the shortest of any sniper rifle in the game. Me personally, I used to run this gun all the time. Thought it was mustard. Never had a problem with it. Then they nerfed it. Nerfed is probably the wrong word. They totally ballsed this gun up. They took something that was skill orientated. You needed skill to use this gun. It took you time to master the skill. It took you time to put yourself in a position where you'd have to dive behind cover, reload the gun, pop back out, maybe nick the next guy, maybe kill the next guy. But you got the kills and you got the job done, and it was very rewarding. And this is still by far the best sounding gun in the game. Don't care what anybody says, and I'm well up for the argument if you want to post that in the comments. So what have they done? They've added a scope to it. Big deal. Why would I need a scope on a gun that only reaches out? Its sweet spot ends at what, 75 meters or something in the region of that? I mean, those out there that are the bods on the stats can tell me. I don't see the point. It starts at 30, it ends at 75. What the hell do I need a scope for at that range? Any longer than that, when you're outside of that, which is what the scope is designed for, you're outside of its sweet spot. Well, if you're outside of its sweet spot, what that means is that you're going to shoot the guy. You're not going to kill him unless, of course, he's heavily damaged. And then you're going to go through the Martini Henry's ridiculously long reload time. I mean, it's much akin to an asthmatic tortoise with a bag of cement on its back. It takes forever. So by the time you pop back up, get back on your scope, zoom back in, I'm telling you right now, that guy is back home with his feet up, eating a sandwich and drinking a cup of tea. He's nowhere near to be found. You sure as shit ain't killing him. So what's the point in putting a scope on this gun? I don't understand DICE's thinking. It's absolutely retarded. It's ridiculous. I don't get it. The fire rate's the same, 24 rounds per minute, and the bullet velocity is still 400 meters per second. So the lead time on the kills and stuff, which, to be fair, you can adjust to that over a period of time, is going to be the same. It's just, there's nothing changed in this gun except it's got a scope and a bipod, which obviously lying down makes it more accurate, but never had a problem with the accuracy. You learn to adapt to that. I don't need a scope on a Martini Henry with a sweet spot that short. What a waste of time. So again, big fat thumbs down from me. DICE, total failure, total waste of time, and I believe you're just trying to appease the Battlefield community. We've given them more content, but it's bullshit content. I don't need this gun. This is stupid. And then we get to the very final thing, and the piece to the resistance, and I'm trying to keep it in a French theme because obviously it's a French DLC, so that's why that's in there, for those of you that were asking or want to know the reasons why. We get to the Hellriegel defensive. Well, I'm sorry, but when were those two words ever needed to be put together? Because the Hellriegel is not a defensive gun, it's an offensive gun, and it's obscene. Now, the split between the two platforms, between PC and console, you don't see a lot of people running it on PC, and that's because everybody's running the Automatico, and that's because the recoil on the Automatico is a lot easier to control by just dragging down on the mouse, and you're good to go, and it's a laser beam. So why would you need the Hellriegel? So they don't really run it. But on the console, I don't know about you guys, but I mean, I could play 17 games in a night, and I promise you 80% of the time I'm killed by the Hellriegel over and over again. And people with 70, 80, 90, 100 stars. It's constant. It's ridiculous. You know what I mean? It's just all the time. And that's because the gun is so goddamn good. That's why. That's why people run it. It's because it's so good. But that does not invoke balance in a game. And DICE, allegedly, are all about balance in a game and keeping it real, and trying to make everything on an even playing field, but giving some variation in there and having a good old time. The Hellriegel doesn't offer up that. So what did DICE do? Well, they offer up the Hellriegel defensive version. So what did they do to this? Well, like all the other variants, they didn't change its fire rate and all that, you know, all that groovy stuff. They didn't change the bullet velocities. They've not changed any of that fun stuff, so don't start panicking and freaking out. Instead, get really excited, because what they did is they took a 60 round magazine and then they slapped on a 120 round drum magazine. That's right, people, 120 rounds in a drum mag. Then on top of that, to make it a little bit more fruity, they give you another drum mag with 120 rounds in it. What does that mean? Well, the reload time, sorry, not the reload time, the cooldown period on the gun, and it does have a cooldown period, starts at 40 bullets. So if you fired 40 rounds off in one go, you're going to go through the reload, not the reload animation, you're going to go through the cooldown cycle. So let's say that lasts a couple of seconds or whatever, right? No one, I ain't timing it, and if you want to time it, knock yourself out. But it's a couple of seconds or whatever before the gun goes and then fires back up, and you're good to go again. Well, that gives you 3 lots of fully auto fire to 40 rounds before you're empty, before you reload again, and then can go again. That's ridiculous. That is absolutely ridiculous. This gun has more bullets in it than the majority of the LMGs in the support class. That is absolutely insanity, especially for a console player. What you're going to find is an entire bunch of the entire lobby all running around with the same gun, just mowing people down and killing people left, right and centre and having a good old time. But everybody in the lobby will be running the same gun, and then DICE will put their hands up and go, oh, did we make a mistake somewhere along the line? Well, yeah, you're goddamn straight you did. You ballsed it up in a big arse way. And then, if the cake is not tasty enough, DICE then go and put the cherry right on the top and drizzle it with some cream, and they slap a bipod on the Hellriegel. That's right, a bipod. So now you've taken a gun that is fantastic at close range, and you've turned it into an LMG mid to long range bullet hose laser beam accurate monster. Why the hell am I running the support class other than to reload the Hellriegel and refuel the Hellriegel? Although at this point, you don't need to, because I've got so many bullets in you. I don't need you, son. Jog on, I don't need you. So now I've got a super accurate gun across all ranges that can devastate people, still fires at 650 rounds per minute, still has the same, all the bullet characteristics are exactly the same, whether it be the drop or the sway or whatever else you want to call it, it's all the same. That's a bloody joke. Are you insane? Absolutely insane. And they've done this because they look at the PC platform and they say, okay, well, this is working here, and you know, people are not using this gun, and that's fine. But those of us in the console world, and I know there's a bunch of people out there just like me that are bitching and crying and holding their head in their hands right now, because this is insanity, DICE. Absolute insanity. Now, that being said, am I going to get out there and run this gun? Tragically, yes, I am. I'm going to be forced to run this gun because I just want to compete. Nobody wants to jump into a lobby and just get murdered every 5 seconds. Where's the fun in that? Is it competitive? Is it realistic? No, it's not. You're just going to get a bunch of idiots running around, all running the same gun. You're sucking the fun out of this, DICE. You really, really are. So, there we are. Rant over. That's the 4 guns. That's what's coming. They're currently in the CTE being, let's call it, tested by the PC Brigade. Soon to be released onto console. My suggestion would probably be next month, around the 14th. That seems to be a DICE typical date and theme. It would probably be a Tuesday. And I don't know if next month's Tuesday is on the 14th. I'm winging it right now, but if that's when it comes down, that's when it comes down. I figured it would only be in the CTE for maybe a couple of weeks or so before they iron all the creases out. There's plenty more in the CTE right now, which is all super juicy, and I'll do another video about that later in the week. But so look out for that. So if you've liked what you've heard, I hope you enjoyed the commentary. In the background, you're going to see some Hellriegel gameplay. I'm trying to show you just how overpowered the base variant is. So check it out, have a look, see what you think, leave the comments below. If you like what you hear, please subscribe. It really helps me out a great deal, and all your support is greatly appreciated. Until next time, this is Mayhem, and ta-ta.